Is up, everyone? We are live, 6 p.m. PST, December 9th for the GSD group. Let me know who is all here with us, guys. We are in, if we can all jump over to the Get Shit Done chat. If you guys aren't in the chat where I posted the Hangout links and stuff like that inside the Project GSD Mastermind, comment there. Let us know who's all here with us, guys. And let's try and use the Get Shit Done actual messenger chat as we go moving forward for everyone, so that everyone we can chat back and forth. So I'll wait and let me know who of you guys are all here with us live, and I'll give you guys a few minutes here till I start seeing some interaction here. So just let me know in that Get Shit Done chat. What's up, Jeff? How's it going, boss? How's it going, Cam? Eric, what's up, brother? Dalton, what's up, dude? Awesome. Let's let everyone hop over here and get a chance to pop in. Awesome. Awesome. So how's everything been going for you guys? We'll wait for a few minutes while everyone else comes on. But for those of you guys that are here right now, how's everything been going with you guys? Have you been split testing? What have you guys been reading? How's it going, Angela? What's up, Jeff? What's up? What's up? But yeah, let me know how everything's been going for you guys. What have you guys been up to? What have you guys been reading? How's the last week been going? I know Jeff. I know Jeff Rayburn's been crushing it. I've been seeing him getting a ton of people in the last little while. So congrats on that, Jeff. I love seeing that. DJ, can we post the link? Yes. 1 second.
What's up, everyone?
Up. All right. Yeah, Jeff, I saw that you've been getting a ton of people in. Me and David were just talking about that. That's awesome, dude. Crushing it. I see Matthew Young, actually, too, has been getting a lot of ton of leads coming in, dude. So, Matt, I don't know if you're here with us, but congrats on that, too, dude. I saw you got another PPA in the pipeline as well, which is awesome. What's up, Carlos? How's it going? I have got 28 sent leads on 3 ads recently. That's 28. I'm not sure if you're talking about clicks or leads. If it's leads, that's amazing, Eric. That's awesome. If it's clicks, that's still even pretty good. But that's awesome, Eric. Way to go, buddy. Georgia, how's it going? Anytime, DJ. What's up, Dan? Things been going great. 4 sales this week, doing coaching calls, reading the magic and the influence. I have 550 leads in the past month. That's awesome, guys. And what's really cool is to really look at that. So many of you guys, it's been really fun to see, because a lot of you guys are getting like, man, I'm getting 100 leads, or I'm getting 4 sales this week, or Jeff said he had like 16 sales in the last week or something like that. But all you guys are getting all these crazy results, 100 leads a day, 200 leads a day. And what's really cool is that like 95% of marketers struggle to get like 5 leads in their lifetime, which is really cool to see that pretty much everyone that's coming in here and taking action is getting a ton of leads. So even if you're someone that's brand new right now and this is your very first hangout, you can start to see that. Sorry, Jeff, 18. Sorry about that, buddy. Right, but even if this is your very, very first hangout, you can see that as long as you're coming in and taking action, you're following what we lay out, and you just keep it simple, right? You just focus on the ads, and really you don't try and get distracted by too many different things, but you just take your energy and really focus on the one thing, and that's really just split testing. You can start getting results, and you start getting to the point where you're like Jeff and you get 18 sales in the last week, which is nuts. I mean, that's awesome. That's really, really good. Awesome to see. Josh Joyner, if you can jump over to the Get Shit Done chat. I think he just commented. I just got a notification. What's up, Josh? How's it going, buddy? Awesome. So, yeah, where David, are you here still, or are you gone?
I'm here.
Okay. Awesome. So we'll just make sure we'll get a few more people in, and before we kind of jump on and get going. Starting to go good. Been split testing a lot, and now I have 3 ads that seem promising. Got 24 cent link clicks today. Awesome. Or 24 link clicks today. That's great, Cam. Awesome, dude. And just it's always going to be continually moving forward and continually split testing on top of that. So like even though you got that, you're like awesome, you got some that are working, you're getting a lot of link clicks, cool. Then 75% of your traffic should be going to those ones that are working, and then still take 25% of your traffic budget and put it towards something that's going to try and beat that out. So you always want to be continuing to split test, which is awesome, Cam. So keep up the great work. But I don't have a sale, but I'm confident. This is my second week. This is your second week. So it's awesome, Carlos. You're just getting started. And really the biggest thing is just staying consistent and getting to the point where it's just you're always wanting to be like, some people will start with $5 a day, $10 a day. But when you get to the point of you get an ad that's converting, you want to make sure that you're spending as much of your advertising budget as you possibly can to get to the point where you want to get to the point where you're constantly you want to spend as much as possible. When you realize that, okay, you have an equation where every dollar you put in, you get $6 out, how many times are you going to put a dollar in? Right? You want to keep continuing to scale up and push past. So if you haven't got your first sale yet, my only suggestion would be continuing to split test and continuing to spend more on advertising. 60 cents a link click. I don't know if you've seen the split testing video that I put up, but I would suggest to shut that one off and start up a new one. You want to get 50 cents a link click or less. You can, when you start building your own pages, get away with getting 60 cents a link click if it's converting to a lead at under $2, but that's honestly, right now, with where you're at right now, under 50 cents a link click should be the only metric that you're kind of focusing on right now. Just keep it simple with that. If you're not getting under 50 cents, delete it, make a new one, and just keep split testing. Keep track of your data that you are testing. Make sure that you know, okay, what was converting, what wasn't converting, so that you don't split test the same data twice. No. So, yeah, I just touched on that. So 50 cents a click is where you're really wanting to keep that. All right, buddy? All right, so for everyone, we're pretty much, let's see, we got 15, we're at 6:05, so pretty much everyone that wants to be here is going to be here already. So hopefully everyone's been doing really well. Again, I've seen Jeff and I know David, I know a lot of you guys here have been getting some really good results over the past few weeks. And some new people, I know Matt Young just had his, I believe he got his first PPA, you got another PPA in the pipeline. I see you got a ton of leads in there. So Matt, if you're here, congrats on that too. And there's been a lot of people creating a lot of success, which has been really, really cool to see. So for those of you guys, if you do have any new people, is there anyone here that's on the chat right now that's brand new? And if there is, just let us know in the chat there. Georgina, what does it say? Everybody had a call with. Yeah, I mean, it's a numbers game. It rarely does happen, but sometimes it does. And maybe out of the bunch, you did get a couple of them that do want a refund, which is fine. I mean, it's not for everyone. Some people, really want to work at McDonald's or wherever they want to be. Maybe they're a doctor, or maybe they're doing something that it just doesn't relate with them. Whatever they want to do, that's cool. You're going to run into people like that, and that's fine, right? This isn't for everyone. Not everyone wants to make 5 figures a month and travel around the world and do whatever they want to do. Some people like working at a job. For as weird as that sounds. But I wouldn't worry too much about it, Georgina, because as you keep running your numbers, you're going to just keep getting more and more people, and you're going to get a bunch of people that are actually really excited to be here. They're really excited to take action, and you're going to get people that, that are on the other end of the spectrum that maybe this isn't for them. That's cool, right? Just know that it is all a numbers game. The majority of the people that are going to come in are going to be excited. They're going to be ready to take action. They're going to follow what we lay out, and they're going to be able to get results from it. So it's not something I would worry too much about it. Other than that, what is everyone going on and reading right now? I know a lot of you guys started reading The Powerful Engagement. I believe I saw Angela quoting that the other day. I've been kind of sick the last little week, so I've been MIA a little bit. But I saw Angela, I think, quoting The Powerful Engagement. I know Dalton, I believe, was reading The Magic, and there was something else, Influence, I think I saw in there. But let me know what you guys are reading at this point too, and what you guys are really reading right now. You can add them in, Matthew, if you just click the little plus, the little people with the plus. You can just put the name in and add them in, Matthew. Oh, sorry, guys. But yeah, so started Psycho-Cybernetics. That's a really good one, actually, Jeff. It's really cool for visualization and stuff, and it's really cool to see like all the pro sports athletes in the world, how they all use all these techniques, which is really cool to see. Where it's I don't know if you've got to the part where they talked about the free throws and stuff, Jeff, but it was really cool to see where when you really get into visualization, and this is why too, when we talk about in previous Hangouts where we had everyone go over their goals and really kind of visualize it and write it in the present tense and write it in a way that's extremely descriptive using their 5 senses so that you can really visualize that goal in your mind. Because what happens when you start to visualize it, you start to attract it, and when you start going out, you're going to start to create that result. And what they actually did in psychocybernetics to kind of prove that, I'll just kind of give you a little overview just for some of you guys. If you're interested in reading that book, I'd highly suggest it. But for psychocybernetics, they took 3 groups of people that all did free throws. They were all at the same length, at the same skill set, basically. And they had one group that practiced every single day. They had another group that didn't practice at all, and then they had another group that practiced, but all they did was sit in a chair and they closed their eyes and they practiced in their mind shooting free throws, and if they missed to the left, they would adjust accordingly. But they would, so one group practiced, one group didn't, one group practiced but only in their mind, and they did that study for about 2 or 3 weeks and came back and realized that the people that practiced and the people that practiced in their mind both had the exact same results when they came back to test again, and the people that didn't practice got way less. And it was really cool to see because, and they'll have a lot of examples in there, but there's even sports athletes like Jamie Moyer, who's a pitcher, and he would pitch an entire baseball game in his head before he would go out and pitch the game. And they realized like how important it is to visualize this stuff, because what happens is, like, if you say, for example, you're a pitcher and you visualize pitching that game, then if you come into a situation, right, you can start to, like, you already know what you're going to do because you've done it already, kind of in your head, right? So when you're visualizing your goals and stuff and what you're wanting to accomplish and how it's going to look and what it's going to feel like, right, you already kind of know where you're going. And so situations are going to happen in your life and you're going to be like, it'll almost be like deja vu, and you'll know how to handle it already because you've already been visualizing this so much that it's just kind of like, it just kind of happens the way that you want it. But this is why we really want to make sure that you guys focus on, like, visualizing a lot. Where if you guys haven't seen that that hangout we did, one of the first ones we did in the files section, it will be in there, where we went over creating your goal and visualizing it, because it is really one of the most important parts. Because then when you take that into consideration when you're doing your ads, when you're doing every other part of your business, and that's kind of like your vision moving forward, you're kind of going to be able to, all the actions that you're taking, all the ads you put up, all the videos you shoot, everything that you do is going to kind of come together to bring that vision forward and to kind of create that vision for you. So it's a really good book, Jeff. I would highly suggest for anyone else that hasn't read it to definitely jump on that. But it's really, really good. Reading the magic, just bought the book. Couldn't read the PDF properly. Yeah, for me, honestly, I honestly like reading books like paperback. I have Power and Full Engagement. Got a bunch of books. I like to read it on paper. It seems to be easier for me. Some people like to read it on the computer, and it's easier if you know, it's free. It is quite easy to just be able to go out and grab. I do like to grab the paperback. So whenever you guys have it, like, if you guys have the ability to do so, always I would suggest to grab the actual physical book. Unless you physically can't, then download it for free, do whatever. Yeah, I would always suggest to do that for sure. My computer is freezing up like crazy. The Lefty Moyer, yeah, you know, Carlos. Just ordered $5. Awesome, awesome. So what we wanna kind of do moving forward. Now, we've talked about quite a bit of things, and really, guys, when it all comes down to it, it's really coming down to, like, how bad do you really want to be able to go out and crush this out? I mean, if you guys, I'm sorry if I sound a little nasally right now. I'm all stuffed up, a little stick. So, but guys, really, when it comes down to this, when you guys are wanting to create success online, you guys are wanting to create a full-time income here, it really comes down to, like, how bad do you want it? It really comes down to, like, this is why we're having you guys read books like Psycho-Cybernetics or The Power and Full Engagement or The Magic and stuff like that. And it's really coming down to getting really clear on exactly how bad you want it and pushing for it every single day, making sure that you're going forward and split testing your ads and making sure that you're on it every day. If you get to a point where you have an ad and it's converting and all of a sudden it stops, like you want to always make sure that even when you have ads converting, you're split testing to try and beat it at all times so that you never run into a situation where you don't have traffic running, right? And you'll get to the point where you're like, Jeff Rayburn, you have 16 sales come in a week, or you're like David and you have, 15 coming on one webinar, right? And it just comes from being consistent and consistently going forward and consistently split testing, but knowing what you're doing is actually going to produce a result for you. Like, that's one of the biggest things, is that some people, especially when you're brand new, is that you come in and you're like, well, is this going to work? I don't know if it's going to, I don't know. Like, I see Jeff killing it and David and all these guys, but I don't know if I can kill it. Like, the belief in yourself. I saw a really good quote actually by Grant Cardone, and it's like the belief in yourself. And this is one of the really big things. Let me just pull it up here so I can have the exact quote of it. But it was, where are we? Okay, so it was because where did I have this conversation? I was having a conversation with someone and they're like, oh, well, no one. I'm having some people come in and I'm having link clicks, and some leads, but no one's bought yet. And then I'm like, well, I was offering some different ways that to be able to benefit them. So obviously one of the services I recommended was Ad Espresso. I was suggesting investing in books, investing in reading and all this. And he goes, well, I don't want to invest any more into myself until I start making some money back. And it's like, that's completely a really backwards way of looking at things. And the reason why that made me think of this one quote, and Grant Cardone says, if you don't believe in you enough to invest in you, then don't be surprised when others don't invest in you, right? This is the one thing too, when you guys are in this space, really, what we're investing in, when we're buying books, when we're buying courses, when we're buying tools, when we're investing in ourselves, and we're investing in ourselves and our knowledge. And the guys, your income is directly proportionate to the amount of value that you can provide to the marketplace. And how do you provide more value? It's by investing more into yourself. And the thing is that some people are trying to get kind of like a something for nothing, where really you have to really take this seriously and really be investing in yourself more than you invest in anything else. Buy more books, get more sales courses. This is why we have people like going into AOL Elite. I know a lot of you guys here right now are in AOL Elite, and you'll be on the Hangout at 7 p.m. today, and in another mastermind, investing in yourself even further. Guys, when you start investing into yourself, the more you start investing in yourself, not only do you acquire more knowledge, which allows you to provide more value to the marketplace and in turn help more people and make more money, but the thing is like when you start investing, you can't expect other people to invest in you when you're not willing to invest in yourself, right? That was kind of why I was coming back with that one quote. And so when you gotta kind of look at that, you want to be kind of your best customer almost. Like for me, when I'm marketing or doing anything, like when I see something that is valuable to the marketplace, that I know that can help me, that can benefit me in any way, shape, or form, I don't even hesitate at all. I go out and buy it. I buy a lot of products. I buy a lot of training courses. I buy a lot of tools. I actually just bought another couple tools that we're going to be testing that I might be able to roll out to you guys if they convert, which is really cool. But I'm always looking to learn and acquire more information to be able to help me more. So for those of you guys that are here right now, your main focus is Facebook ads. So your main focus should be acquiring knowledge about Facebook ads. You should be investing in yourself as much as physically possible to learn about split testing. And a lot of this is going to come through trial and error as well, from split testing just on your own. But the thing is too, is you want to be able to go through, you want to be able to go through and you always just want to be moving forward a little bit more each and every day. Like there's always going to be things that are going to come into place, but you always want to make sure that every day you're just being a little bit better. And it might be the tiniest little bit that you're moving forward, but in the long grand scheme of things, like it's really just staying consistent and moving forward. So like Carlos, when you're saying I haven't had a sale yet and it's only been 2 weeks, that's great. That's fine. I mean, when I first got started, a lot of you guys heard the story already. It took me 6 months to get my first $25 sale, and I spent $2,000 on ads after spending $5,000 on products. So it was like, in 2 weeks, it's really nothing. It's going to go a lot faster. You're going to get to the point where there's a lot of people in this group too that, like David, who gets a sale on his first webinar. It's all going to be a numbers game, and as long as you're continually split testing, right? No matter, it's continually moving forward and getting through adversity without any loss of enthusiasm as you move forward, right? Because what'll happen is you're going to come into times with temporary defeat. You're going to come into times where maybe your ads don't convert, or maybe this doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or whatever happens, and that's cool because that's business, that's life. Shit doesn't always work out perfectly every single time. It's just always moving forward and continuing to go in with the same sense of enthusiasm no matter what happens, right? And you're going to get to the point where you're like Jeff Rayburn and you get 16 sales in a week, or David gets 15 on a webinar, or Steven or Steve King that gets $7,000 in his first month running ads. And it's all going to really come to just staying consistent, right? Making sure that you're, don't feel bad, dude. I've had a lot worse. I mean, me, Julian, Nate, we didn't have a system like this, so we went through a lot of crap, and it took us a lot longer than what it's taking a lot of you guys to get results here. So when we were on last week, we were chatting a bit about figuring out what you guys' ad budgets were. Did you guys, and we've talked about it a few times as well, are all you guys here, do you guys all know what your ad budget is that you can spend every month? If you do, let me know in the comment section. And if it's $300 a month, cool. If it's $1,000 a month, cool. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's 300, whether it's 5,000, but it's your advertising budget that you can spend every single month, no matter what, even if you make $0. But let us all know in the Get Shit Done chat here if you have that. David, are you able to? Is there anything you want to touch on here? I just got to jump over. I'll be right back in like two seconds here.
Yeah, like he was saying, it really comes down to believing in everything and then believing in yourself enough to jump in full speed. Similar, like you can't expect to say, well, I'm going to wait till I make $60,000 a year to go to college, and then once I do that, I'm going to go to college, right? It's not like you can just expect to have the results that you want and then say, well, then I'll put in the work to make it happen. You have to put in the work first, and I don't even know what it is about personal development. I don't get it, because it doesn't even like necessarily to me teach me anything new or like improve my business in like a direct way where I'm reading like almost like a guide material, like do this or this or this. It just puts you in the right mind state. And whatever it may be, whatever you attribute that to, when I do my personal development, shit runs better. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the universe and the way it works or what, but it's the truth. Justin and I were talking about the other day. It's like literally our ups and downs and the roadblocks tend to tie into the personal development. When we are busy and we slack off, shit doesn't work as well. I don't know what it is, but it works. I went through a slump like the first week of December where things just weren't happening. We were still coming off of Black Friday. My leads weren't really coming in that well, and I only had like a couple sales in the very beginning of the month. But I'm like, oh, well, I'm not really, I was busy with family and everything like that for Thanksgiving, and my personal development just like stopped. And literally with my personal development stopping, my sales stopped. And I started back up on the personal development again. Sales started coming back in. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it does work for sure. There's no question about it. But again, like I was saying, I mean, you can't come into this being afraid to go all the way in. When you are afraid to go all the way in, time and time again, even though it's only been 6 months since I've seen this, people come in and they invest into this thing, and they're like, they jump in at like a TM or a PPA, and then they're like, they only want to stick like one toe in the water when it comes to like an advertising or really going all the way with it. And without fail, every single time I've had someone come in, They split test, they find an ad, they spend $20, $30 a day on ads. Literally, they get results right away. People start coming in. Just like Jeff, I mean, he came in, he found an ad, and I think he spent like 150 or $200 a day right now, but he had 18 sales in a week. It is a numbers game, and you can't be afraid to you believed in the system enough to get to where you are right now. You believed in the system enough to purchase your Doobly business package. Literally, we don't make anything beyond. Nobody on this whole team benefits from you doing that if you're not going to really, go forward and really spend the money on ads to make it happen. I joke all the time. Like I said, we're not investors in Facebook. We don't make money by you spending a boatload of money on ads with no results. We don't tell you to spend the money on ads because it somehow benefits us because it's like a scam or something. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work like that. So us telling you to spend money on ads is literally, it's the truth, because that's how we get paid. That's how we make money. That's how this whole thing works. It's a numbers game. The more money you spend on ads, the more people are going to come in. And just like Georgina was saying that, she's been struggling because people have been coming in and getting refunds. I've had people ask for refunds and stuff too. Again, it's a numbers game. The more people that you see, the more people that you speak to that come in through your ads, the more likely you are to get people that are going to go PPA or TM or anything. It's just a numbers game. Obviously, not every single person is going to have $2,500 in here to go TM. To go PPA. Not everyone's going to have the $600 to go TM. But the more people you talk to, the more people that you come in front of, the better off your odds are of just seeing enough people. And really, once you start getting 10, 12, 15 people directly underneath you that are all running their ads, it goes on autopilot at that point. And it's pretty hard at that point to not make well above and beyond what you spend in advertising each month. So it really is just about putting in the legwork in the very beginning to get to that point as quickly as possible, to where you have that 10, 12, 15 people that are all producing underneath you. But the personal development, I can't stress it enough. It does make a big difference, if nothing else, other than just putting you in the right mental mind state to law of attraction. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know. I can't explain it, but bringing it into your reality, and really it works. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Is when you really start, if all it did was get you into that mindset, right? Into that mindset where it's like, that when you're doing stuff, like, you're going to create a result and you have your vision in mind. And law of attraction, whether you want to believe it or not, I've noticed that every single one of the leaders that are making 10,000 plus, and they'll say the same things. They're like, well, I fluctuate up and down, but I notice that when I'm focusing on personal development, I'm usually making more. When I slack off and I stop focusing on it, I start making less. I don't know if it's about the books or focusing on that. And honestly, it comes down to really, it is. Like, I wouldn't tell you guys to read a book. I thought I hated reading. I hated listening to audios. I thought I hated all that when I was in school, because I was forced to read things that I didn't like, right? But when I started focusing on personal development, and you start to realize that you're the deliberate creator of your own reality, and you can start to create your life the way that you want it, and you start to really see the results of that, that's the one thing too, is that personal development, it can work great for people that actually believe that it's going to work, and they believe that they're going to apply these things to their life and get into that mindset and use that to get into that state to run your ads or to shoot your videos or to do whatever it is on your business. But if you're coming in, you're reading books and you're like, I don't want to read this, and you're like, this isn't going to work, and this is, and you have that type of mindset towards it, it's really gonna, it's not going to do anything for you. But there's the only reason me and David or Carlson or anyone else is going to tell you to read books like this is because we physically do it in our own business and it works, right? And it's kind of like cheating for life almost, because it gets to the point where you can engineer what it is that you want to create. Like, it's so funny to see, like, for those of you guys that want to be able to travel and go to places like Costa Rica or Thailand or wherever you want to be able to do, and when you go over that And when you go over like that visualization exercise that we did in one of the previous hangouts, and you start to visualize that, and you're focusing on personal development, you know that what you're doing is going to produce you a result, and you constantly have that picture in your mind. And all of a sudden, I remember some of you guys. I remember Jake was telling me the story where he was visualizing beaches in Hawaii and all this stuff. All of a sudden, the next month later, he finds out we're actually going there for an event, and then all of a sudden, we're out there at the event, and he just like stopped and was like, oh my God. He goes like, this is what I saw. Like, this is the same beach, like, of what I saw when I was visualizing me being on a beach in Hawaii. He goes, this is unreal. Like, and this is the thing, is that your thoughts start to become things. And when you start to really focus on this stuff, you become responsible for creating your own life, and you start to accept responsibility for both the good and the bad things that do happen in your life. Right. And for another example, for those guys that didn't hear that one time when I was telling you guys when we were in Hawaii, speaking on stage, that was the one where it was visualization. And I'd always visualized from my first event that I went to, and I saw Cameron speak, and I looked and I saw him speaking on stage, and I saw how everyone looked at him, and I was just like, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to speak on stage. I wanted to be able to inspire people to become the best version of themselves. And I wanted to be able to do whatever I needed to do in my power to create that. And so I would visualize myself all the time, walking up on stage, speaking, and what it would look like, the people in the audience and all that. And I would I could run through it in my head over and over and over. And all of a sudden we get to Hawaii and I'm speaking on stage, and I get up and I've already been speaking for like 15 minutes, and all of a sudden I just like completely stop. And I'm looking out, and it's the exact stage, the exact people, the background, the design on the wall in the back, everything was the same that I visualized, that I'd seen, and it kind of really tripped me out for a second. And for those of you guys, if you were there or if you watched the replay, you watched me all of a sudden stop and say, like, this is so surreal. And I didn't tell anyone about it at the time, but all of a sudden I had this like super awkward pause. I was like, what the hell is going on? Because I'd seen it already. I'd already seen, and like the design on the wall in the back, the people, how they were sitting, the arrangement, like the stage where I was standing, the shoes I was wearing. It was like everything I'd already seen in my mind, because I'd run through it over and over and over again. So I encourage you guys, especially to really, when you guys start writing out your visions, to really visualize that on a daily basis and really get into it. Like, and if you need some help with it, grab that book, Psycho-Cybernetics, that Jeff was talking about, because it goes a lot into visualization exercises, and there's a lot of like scientific proof backing up why it works. It's not just, you know, I don't know why it works, but it works. It's like scientific proof of like, this is why it works. Like when you visualize yourself, say, running a marathon, every muscle in your body fires as if you're running the marathon, even though you're only visualizing it in your head, right? So that's the same thing with no matter what you're visualizing that you're doing, you're doing that. Your mind, your subconscious mind cannot tell whether you're actually doing it or whether you're just imagining yourself doing it, right? So it's like when you're wanting to practice anything you've ever wanted to, anything you've wanted to do. Sorry, was you?
Yeah, so I told myself I was going to get a sale tonight. Just got one.
That's awesome, dude.
I told myself I just said it was going to happen. I mean, I just said it was going to happen. I know it sounds really corny. It sounds really, really corny, but I'm like, I'm going to get a sale tonight, and it just happens.
This is, and it's hard. Like you'll get it now, David. You've been getting a ton of sales over and over and over again, and the more you get, the easier it seems to be. And now all of a sudden you're just like, I'm going to get a sale, and you get one. You're like, of course I did. Of course I just got a sale. Of course it worked, right? And this is the thing. The reason why, guys, for those guys watching, the reason why it seems so effortless for David or for Carlson or for anything like that is because they've gotten to that point now where it's normal. You know what I mean? It's normal to have that happen all the time. And so now they're operating on a belief that, of course, I get 15 sales on a webinar. Of course, I get a random sale here. Of course, I make $10,000 a month. Of course, this is.
When I don't now.
Pardon?
I get pissed when I don't now. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what happened? I only got 3 people this webinar. Like, fuck. Like, I'm so mad.
Right. And it all really comes down to it. when it's your belief in your ability. And when you start getting results, it becomes easier to have the belief that it's going to work really well. But the thing is, like, you got to have that belief. If you don't have a sale yet, if you don't have any results yet, you need to have that belief in yourself that what you're doing is going to produce a result and that you are going to get that, right? And you need to believe that you are the person that's going to get these types of results before you're ever going to get that, ever. I was actually just listening to an audio last night while I was sleeping. It's called It's Not About the Money by Bob Proctor. I don't know if you guys have listened to that at all. I'd highly suggest it. I have it on Audible. But it's not about the money. And he's talking about, like, where you'll never, it's always that backwards belief where it's like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it, right? And everyone always believes that, but you're never, ever, ever in your life going to get to a point where you're creating success like that big. You're never going to get there unless you actually believe it beforehand. If you don't believe in your own self and your own ability to be able to get results, you're not going to be able to get that. That's why we have you guys focus on that personal development. For one thing, it's your confidence, really, your confidence in yourself and your own ability to be able to get results. And then when we're talking about, like, David getting a ton of results or sales or whatever like that, we're not saying that to brag, guys. We're saying that to show you guys that, God, hey, reminder, like, it works. See, Jeff Rayburn just had 16 sales in the last week. It works. Carlson just did 10K. It works. Nate Smith just did 14K. It worked. You know what I mean? Like, we're showing these results. Sorry, Dave.
No, go ahead. I would say the difference is the mentality of when you jump in. You know, we were talking about it wasn't the hangout. It was during the webinar last week when I was talking about when I first got started. Like, I saw the webinar, like I saw the ad on Facebook, and I was like, I registered for the webinar. I started getting the emails from Matt, and I was like, I want in. I want to do this. I didn't even wait for the webinar. I found like an old webinar from like 2 months earlier on YouTube. Watched the whole 2 hours of it. Jumped in. Said, you know, I guess in the coaching video, I immediately messaged him like, I want to go PPA. You know, I went PPA, and I was like, I'm spending as much money as I can on ads because I believed in it 100%. And I came in. I was ready to go. I didn't have a ton of money to spend on ads, but I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going all the way. I had like a couple $100 that I could spend. I think I had like $300 that I could spend on ads. And I'm like, I just spent it all in a week. I just spent all of it as fast as I could. And people started coming in real fast. And I made money. I kept spending ads. And because I 100% believed in the system. Like, there was no question, no doubt. I 100% knew in my mind that it was going to work. And believed in it, and it makes a big difference. It really makes a big difference. All of you guys are here. You're all part of the team. You're all in this thing. You know, everything we have moving forward to say is 100% for your benefit. There's no reason for us to say any of this stuff if it's not the reality. It makes a big difference when you just have that belief in it and just run with it. Just take it and run with it. Go head first and just believe in the system. It's all you have to do.
Yeah. It's honestly really the biggest thing is if you just went in with 110% belief that you knew that maybe you're not going to get $1 million tomorrow or a week from now, but you know that if you just keep doing it, if you keep plugging in, you keep split testing, you keep spending money on ads, you keep making sure that you're pushing forward and learning new things every day and applying those to your business, and you just keep going and just don't give up, and you know it's going to work, you're going to get results. You're going to come into times that are temporary, you know, come into times where, you know, your ads don't work or split testing doesn't work or stuff doesn't happen. But guess what? If you just keep going with that belief and you keep moving forward, you're going to break through that point and get to the point where you're getting results. Right? The only way that Jeff, that David, that Eric, that Justin, that anyone got to that point was they started and they had that belief. Did it work perfectly for every single one of them right from the beginning? Probably not. Some people, it went a little bit quicker than others, but the biggest thing was that they believed that it was going to work, and it didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter if their ads didn't convert for the first 2 months. It didn't matter if they didn't get a sale for 6 months. It didn't matter what was going to happen there because they believed in the system, they believed in themselves, and they were going to continue pushing forward and keep doing it until they got the result. It's not a fact of is it going to work or is it not going to work. It's when is it going to work? I'm going to keep doing it until it works, right? And you got to have that belief in it, because if you don't have that belief, you're going to do it, and maybe these ads don't convert, and then a week later they're still not converting, maybe a week later they're still not converting, and your belief in the system is going down, your belief in your ability is going down, you're not focusing on personal development, you're not focusing on the stuff that we're teaching you guys, and you're just like, oh, well, I guess it's not, it's not going to work, and your enthusiasm goes down. That affects your ads, that affects your results, and it just keeps going down. You have to keep moving forward without any loss of enthusiasm and without any loss in belief in the system. The fact is, we've done millions of dollars in sales. It's not a fact of if the system works or not. It's not a fact of if the product converts, right? It's all of that stuff works. The product converts, the system works. It's whether or not you're going to work. So when you realize that you are the only variable in this equation, you're where 110% of your focus should be going towards you, focusing on yourself, your own, and you developing not only your mindset and your personal development, but then focusing on your skill. And right now, at the beginning, your skill is just focusing on Facebook ads. It's not focusing on anything else. It's not building your own pages if you're just getting started. It's not doing any of that stuff. It should be just focusing on split testing your ads. If you need to, get Ad Espresso. I would highly recommend it for split testing. There's a couple different tools that I am testing right now that I will release as long as they convert. Right now, I don't have enough data to know if they're going to convert for you guys or not. So I'm going to be testing those. But Ad Espresso, we know, does work. It helps with split testing extremely. Like, it makes it extremely easy for split testing. But really, if all I could say was one thing, it's just like, get really clear on why you're here and what you want to accomplish, right? And if you haven't written out that vision, go and do it. Go into the file section. Go to one of the last Hangouts. Get clear on your vision and why you're here. Because if you don't have the belief in your ability to go and create this, really, for one, you might not have a strong enough why, or you're not focusing on the personal development and stuff that we're laying out for you guys. Really, if all you did was you structured, okay, what are you looking to accomplish? What is your why, and what are you looking to create here? How much money are you looking to make? Where do you want to live? Who do you want to help? What do you want your life to be like? And that should be your goal that you're focusing on and visualizing on every single day when you're moving forward. And then you're taking that and you're visualizing. So it's like in the morning, you go over your visualization and you're looking over your ocean view in Thailand or whatever it may be. And then when you go to do your ads, that's going to influence the ads that you do. It's going to influence the emails you write. It's going to influence the YouTube videos that you do. And you're going to keep moving forward towards that goal. It's just like if you're from here and you're a map, you're trying to go anywhere, and you have a dot on the map, and you're here, and you're trying to go here, you know where you're going, and so you're going to keep moving forward until you get there. But if you don't have that vision of where you're trying to go, you're just going to randomly just kind of go wherever, because you don't have a set goal of where you're trying to go, right? The fact is that the only difference between the people that are getting results here and the people that aren't is the time and the energy that they've put in. Now, some people are going to come in here, and they're going to put a shitload of time and energy into the wrong things. Right? And you can do that too. And then all of a sudden you're spiraling completely the wrong way. The big thing here, guys, is you got to put the time and the energy in. But you got to put the time and the energy into the right things, and you want to keep it simple. Do not try and make this complex. Guys, when you really look at this is extremely easy and extremely basic. And for some of you guys, getting started and being brand new, you might look at me and be like, yeah, easy for you. But guys, it is. It is extremely easy. And some of you guys might be coming in with zero experience. And yeah, it might be harder for you than it is for other people that are coming in that do have experience. But guess what? Just like riding a bike, just like speaking, just like learning how to walk for the first time, it was difficult at first. Sure, you didn't know how to do it. But guess what? As long as you keep moving forward and you keep doing it, all you guys are focusing on is split testing. All you need to do is randomly stumble across one interest, really, that ends up converting. Like really, when you break that down, everything else is done. Everything else is done for you guys. Literally, all you guys are having to do is split test. And if all you did was go into Ad Espresso and put Canada, US, UK, Australia, and just dump a crap load of interests in there, and then just let it split test for you and make 300 different ads, I guarantee you're going to find one ad, two ads out of there that you're going to be able to scale out. Like, really, we've made it pretty simple. The thing is that what happens, and a lot of the time too, is that when you grow up in a way where, most people, 90% of the population, we grow up in a way where you have to work really hard for money. You have to work hard. I know when I was working at the butcher shop, my belief was that I had to work my ass off to make $10 an hour. That was because that's what my reality showed me.
Millionaires don't work. Millionaires, half the time, millionaires they don't work at all. I mean, like they're like, seriously, like one of my good friends who like finally made it. He finally made it to where he's making like a ton of money, like over six. The guy sits in his underwear at his fucking house all day, and when he's bored, goes to the casino. Like that's what he does all day, because rich people find things that are easy to make money, where they can make their money work for them. And this really is kind of one of those things. Yeah, there is time investment and everything like that, but this is really one of those opportunities where you're kind of trading off the time aspect and you're buying your stuff. Like you're buying ads versus having to work hard to get your thing in front of people. Really, other than the time of coaching calls and helping new people get started, there's really not much to it in terms of the time involved. You're basically, it's a half hour a day of split testing and managing your ads. For people that are just running ads, you can literally make thousands of dollars a month working a half hour a day. I mean, there's not much else out there where you can do that. The big thing that you said, I can't remember the exact way that you stated it, but you said how big is your why? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the biggest thing. That it all comes down to that. Like that's it right there. It really comes down to wanting it bad enough. And when I see the comparison of the people thus far who have had real success in this thing, like it was a burning desire to be successful. When I started this, I wanted this more than anything I'd ever wanted. And once I dug in and really started running my ads and people started coming in, and it like completely validated that this thing does work and it's real. It was a burning desire like I had never had before, of really wanting to make something successful and make it work. The pattern that I do see all the time is the people that come in and they want to make extra money, right? Like they just want to make extra money, or they want to make enough money to pay their, mortgage or their car payment or anything like that. And they just have basic goals. Like there's nothing wrong with that, right? And some people, that's why they came here. There's nothing wrong with just wanting to make extra money. But people in this business, I promise you, that have that type of mentality, it will be harder for them to make the $2,000 a month to cover their mortgage than for someone with a burning intense desire to make six figures a year. 100%. Like it is harder to make a little bit than a lot, because it all is in your mentality of how bad you want it. It's key. I mean, that really is the key. Every single person that's had real success in this, just from me personally talking to them, either had no other option and fucking had to make this work, or they wanted to change in their life so bad that they were willing to do anything to do it. And finding that mentality in yourself is key. It really, really is. And getting to the point where you are so sick of where you are at, and you are like willing to do literally whatever it takes to change where you're at, is key. We grow up our whole lives, like from, a young age up until 18 or 20 years old or 22. And like we have these huge dreams, right? Like we have these huge dreams because we don't know what real world is. I mean, yeah, we all, all of us had struggles growing up, probably, unless you grew up with like millionaire parents. But you have this idea that you're going to grow up, you're going to go to college, and like everything's going to be awesome, and you're going to be able to travel and do all these things. And then like you turn 22 and like real life hits, and like boom, like you realize that life is not at all what you thought it would be. And that really is a driving desire for most people in here. And it's like a lot of times people just get complacent with where they're at in life, and they just say, well, I'm going to work the rest of my life till I'm 60, and that's just what it is. But when you can really tap into that inner burning desire to live that different life, that's more powerful than anything there is out there. And and looking at it together, personal development ties in with that a lot. Really being able to channel that burning desire, just like an athlete, having that burning desire more than anything out there to win a championship or anything like that. When you match a certain skill set with an intense desire to make it happen, that person is unstoppable. Period. Point blank. And it really does come down to 100%. Like, do you really want this bad enough? Because if you do really want this bad enough, you will spend the money to make it happen no matter what it takes. You'll do whatever it takes. You'll read the books. You'll do everything your mentors tell you to do without even questioning it. Because when it comes down to it, if you want to make 6 figures a year doing something like this and being able to work online and travel, just do everything that the people that are already living that life tell you to do. I mean, it's literally that simple. Every one of us that are in that position now, that's all we did. I didn't try and reinvent the wheel. Literally, I was on Matthew's ass for 6 months, like just trying to figure out and learn everything that he did, and I just literally copied everything he did to a T. Like I just did what he did, and followed everything to a T, and that's what it is. There's no sense in reinventing anything that, when something is already there that's working.
Yeah, that's what it's so funny to see too. Like everyone always wants to and I did this too. Everyone wants to recreate the wheel. You know what I mean? Like Cameron would tell me all the time to do all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Cam. I want to make money. I don't want to read books. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And as soon as I just listened, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to listen and do what he tells me to do and see how that works. All of a sudden, I have my first $10,000 month. Everything starts to flow easier. I'm like, you mean all I had to do is just listen to you the whole time, and I would have got results? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is the thing, guys. When you want something bad enough, there's nothing that can ever fucking come out that can stop you. Nothing. There was nothing ever that would ever come into my way that would even make me come even remotely close to quitting. There's nothing. It didn't matter what happened. I could have went bankrupt. Anything could have happened to me, and it did not matter because I knew that it was gonna work. At some point, it was gonna work. At some point, it was gonna get to the point where it was gonna get easy, and then it was just gonna work. And I just wanted it so bad. I hated the way my life was. I was making $10 an hour, hating. I wake up every morning hating it. I hated my life. And so that was me wanting it so bad. Like I was willing to do whatever the hell it took. I was willing to read any book I possibly needed to. I was willing to go through any course, split test, spend thousands of dollars on advertising, do whatever the hell I needed to do because I knew that vision and that goal that I was searching for was going to be so worth it when I finally made it. When I finally got past the grind phase, so to speak. The thing is, and when it comes to when you have a why big enough, there's nothing that can come up that's going to stop you, right? The only way you're going to ever fail is if you give up. That's the only time that's going to happen. And guess what? You're going to be tested a shitload of times to see if you're going to give up. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you you're going to have curveballs thrown at you left, right, and center to test you, to see if you really want it. And if you really want it bad enough, it doesn't matter what's getting thrown at you. You're going to knock it out of the park. But guess what? If you don't really want it that bad, if your why's not that strong, a curveball is going to get thrown at you, and you're going to strike out. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, something's going to come at you and it's just like, oh, well, you know what? I only wanted to just make some extra money. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if this doesn't work. The thing is, like David was saying, some people, the people that I see that get the best results were oftentimes like it's almost the rags to riches story. They were often in the shittiest position in the beginning, right? And that created this burning desire that they use to fuel them to get out. I see a lot of times people come in that do have money already, that are making 100 grand a year already, 200 grand a year already. And often those people have the toughest time, and it's not even because they don't have the money. They have a lot of money. They have the money to spend on ads. They have the money to be able to fund their business. But what happens? You know what? Well, I hope this works. But if it doesn't work, I'm making 6 figures a year. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? So they don't have that burning desire. If something big comes up, it's just like, yeah, who cares? Doesn't matter. But guess what? When you're Justin Connell and you're on EI and you gotta make this work or you're fucked, what happens? You make it work. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what comes up. You do whatever the hell you need to do in your power to make it work. If an obstacle comes in your way, you jump over it, or you go around it, or you dig under it, or you break the fuck through it. You do whatever you need to do to get past it. And when you have that why that's strong enough, that's what pushes you to get past, because your why is way up here. And so when a little problem happens down here, who cares? Because your vision is way up here. It's worth it. But when your vision is like making a little bit of extra money, right? And the block that comes in is all of a sudden way up here, it's not worth you going through that pain to just make a little bit of extra money. But when it's changing your life, being able to travel around the world, being able to help your family and do things that you've always loved to do, and you value that a lot, then it doesn't matter. It could be the big thing way up here, but guess what? Your vision's still bigger than that. And it doesn't matter. So you'll continue to push forward. And this is why you want to have a big vision, and you want to have it really big, and you want to make big goals. You know what? I made my first goal when I first did that visualization exercise. My first goal was I was going to move to Thailand right away. I was going to move to Thailand off like $3 grand a month. All I wanted was I was going to make $3 grand a month. I was going to move to Thailand, and that was going to be it. Guess what? A year and a half went by, and I didn't hit it. 2 years went by. Like, this was my 90-day goal that I set the very first time I set it. I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it for like a year and a half. But guess what? I for the first year and a half, I was like fighting it so much. And then I started really digging deep. And after a year and a half went by and I didn't hit it, I was like, okay, what the hell do I need to do? I know Cam's reading every single day. I'm scheduling a point in my day where I'm reading at least an hour, if not more. I'm scheduling in time for me to listen to audios every day. I'm scheduling in time to make sure that I do my split testing on my ads every single day. I was building my own pages. I was doing all this stuff. But then I just got really serious. I'm like, hey, why am I wanting to do this? Well, I want to be able to be free. I want to be able to do things that I love. And I got really, really clear on it. Then all of a sudden, all the things I was slacking on and all the things that like I would push to the side and like not trying to do, I was tackling everything now. Now, anything that came in my way, I didn't push it to the side. I just did it. And I did it right now, and I got it done so that I can move forward and continue to grow and move forward with my business. You know what's actually funny is that we just booked our trip to Thailand, which will be my first time going there. That was like my very first goal, my visualization exercise, like 3 years ago, right? And it was funny to see that I could have at many point in times throughout that 3 year stretch, there was many times where I could have just given up. There was many times where I could have just been, you know what, whatever. I can go back to my job. I know I have a job that would pay me enough to get rent covered, I guess, at least. I could have been fine. I could have just left it. But I wanted it so bad that I would work for 12 hours sometimes, come home, work for 6 hours, go to bed for 4 to 6 hours, get up, go back and do it again, right? Just like David, right? Because I freaking wanted it bad. And is that reality what we wanted? Did we want to be working 12 hours, go home, work 6 hours, sleep for 6 hours and do it all over again? No, that's not my dream lifestyle. But guess what? I was willing to go through that if that meant I got to live my dream lifestyle for the rest of my life after that. I was willing to do that for a year, 2 years, 3 years. If that meant at the end of it, I can travel anywhere I want to in the world, work from anywhere that I want to, and live comfortably and never have to worry about bills again. Right? I didn't care. I didn't care. And that's kind of the point where you guys, when you want to get clear on like how bad do you want it, and get really clear on it. What is your end goal here? Like, what, not only the money, because the money only does a small part. What is that money going to do for you? Is it going to give you a new house? Are you going to maybe spend more time with your family? Are you going to go do cool vacations or whatever? Go on vacations, maybe buy a nice car, maybe go become a member of a golf club or anything. I don't know what you guys' goals and desires are. Like, what is it that drives you every day? What would you want to do every day of your life? And get clear on that, because then when you know that and you wake up every morning and you're just driven and you know that this is what I want to create and I can't wait till I create it. You're willing to go through. It doesn't matter what comes into place. It doesn't matter how many times you have to split test. It doesn't matter how much you have to spend on ads. It doesn't matter what you have to do, because your end goal is so clear and you want it so bad that none of this stuff matters. It doesn't, right? And you're willing to do whatever it takes to be able to go and do it. And as soon as you get to that point, all of a sudden when you're in that mode and you're like tackling everything and willing to do whatever it takes, everything just starts to become easier, because you start to like take on a bigger workload. You start to work a lot more. All of a sudden you start gaining a lot more knowledge, and that more knowledge that you acquire allows you to acquire more knowledge at a faster pace. It gets to the point of like an exponential growth of knowledge. I don't know if you guys have seen a chart of like, we're at a point of like exponential growth of technology now, where we have so much technology that if you were to look back over the last 10 years, right? The last 10 years worth of technology. Well, in the next 10 years, it's going to be like 150 years of technology condensed into 10 years, because of the amount of technology that we have. This happens in everything. It happens in knowledge and information. And that's what happens, is that the more knowledge you acquire, it allows you to acquire new knowledge at a much faster rate. So even if you only know a little bit right now, and it takes a lot to learn, and you're like learning a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more, eventually you're going to learn so much that the knowledge goes so high that you begin to pick up things right away. Everything starts to become so easy. And everything, it just seems like everything starts to flow. And you'll get to that point, but the only way you're ever going to get there is if you push through this grind phase. And for some people, it can be a month. For some people, it can be like me and be like 2-3 years, right? Like it can totally depend on you. But if you want it bad enough, you can condense that time and make it as fast as you want. Are you gonna work 12 hours, go home and work your ass off till you go to sleep and get up and do it all over again? I guarantee you, the person that does that versus the person that comes home and maybe works half an hour, maybe an hour on their business, the other person is gonna get results way faster, because they're more serious. They're working harder. They're trying to. When you really take this seriously and you really want this bad enough, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't. Like, nothing else matters. Everything, you know that you're going to get the result as long as you keep doing it. And all of a sudden, the more results you get, the easier it gets. All of a sudden, oh, I got my first sale. You're like, this is awesome. Now all of a sudden you have that belief and you go, oh, well, getting that sale's easy now. I know, because I got one. Then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm getting like 5 every webinar. Getting 5 sales on a webinar is easy. Now you're affirming another belief, right? And now that becomes easy. Now all of a sudden it's like, hey, my team member is getting 5 sales on a webinar. You know what I mean? And it's like all of a sudden it's going to just keep growing. You just want to keep using your results that you're getting and keep leveraging those results to get newer results, and just keep pushing forward. And be like, when you guys start getting, maybe you're just getting started and you're just getting some ads that convert, you get your very first member, whatever it may be excited about that. Most people in this industry don't even get the chance to ever get their first member. The average I think is like 1 associate in the network marketing industry. There's like 1 to 2 people is the average sign-up rate. And I know pretty much everyone in here. I mean, Jeff Rayburn just did 8 times that in a week. You know what I mean? Like, David does that, does double that, 8 times that on a webinar. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are getting some crazy results. So it's just like, just make sure no matter what happens, no matter what comes into place, know that as long as you know where you're going, and if you want this bad enough and you really want to create this type of lifestyle, all you got to do is, focus on the personal development. Make sure you're reading and listening to audios every day, but make sure that you're split testing and focusing on your ads. And when you get an ad that's converting, do not be afraid to spend money on it. Right? My voice is going. I think I'm done now.
Yeah, it's time to jump off.
Sorry guys, I was a little sick today, but yeah, we got to jump off anyways. For those of you guys that want to get to Elite, I know a lot of you guys hit me up and said you had to jump over. And Dalton says, it's so crazy how you were talking about how you're going to get a sale tonight. I've done that in the last 2 webinars and it worked. That's the thing. It's funny that when you really start to get to that belief and you start believing, you're like, I know I'm going to get a sale tonight. It's not just saying it to yourself. It's like you physically believe that. And then all of a sudden it happens. You're like, of course it happened. You know, it's not a surprise. Like, of course you're going to create the sales happen. No. Guys, I know a bunch of you guys jumped off already. For those of you guys that are in AWOL Elite, make sure that you do jump over there. I know Cameron and Kayla probably already started right at 7. Sorry for being sick tonight, guys. If you guys could hear me okay, hopefully. I was a little bit out of it. But, yeah, we'll come back on Wednesday next week. Should be better then. We'll have a little bit more there. Thanks. Anytime, Josh. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Dalton, Jeff. Anything you want to jump off, say before we jump off, David?
Nah, man, that was a lot tonight. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Got some good nuggets out of there. Just stay focused. I mean, that's the main thing. It's one of those things where you really have to have really a 12 to 24 month game plan in this thing, but then take it and break it down from there into daily goals, weekly, monthly, 3-month, but it really is about I would really say 24-month game plan. I mean, even probably longer than a year. It's are you willing to work your ass off and do whatever it is that you need to do for 2 years to be free the rest of your life? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is that the successful person is willing to do what the other one's not. So, that's all it is that just believing in yourself, believing in the system, and just doing whatever it takes to make it happen. I mean, just being relentless.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you guys for coming out. Thanks for all of you guys. We'll see most of you guys on the Elite Hangout, and the rest of you guys we will see next Wednesday. All right, take care, guys, and we'll see you later.
Later.